Alright, boys and girls, we are back with some of the Dakota content today. So, as you can see what I have here on the driver's seat, please don't mind that. It's a bit dirty from messing with the scooter and messing with the Subaru. But here we're going to be end up replacing, not replacing, but I'm going to show you guys a rundown on swapping out the EGR valve. And this was my favorite, I'm not going to lie. The coolant temperature sensor. If you are, and like many other people have already in the past, you bought a temperature sensor and you got this big boy. I want to say this was a 19, I believe, or a 20. This is the actual sensor. Very much smaller than what it was. It's actually, I'll take them out of the bag so you guys can see them in person here. That's how different they are. Very much so different. This one was about a 19, I want to say it was a 17 or a 19 mil that fed over that, versus a ½ for the actual temperature sensor, which is a 2-prong. This is a 2-prong, but if you look at the actual connectors, they are very different. So if you're like me and the check engine light came on, mine actually kind of hit me with the dual thing. The EGR was on and off for about the last year I've owned this thing, and then it sent off a coolant temperature sensor code, so I decided to replace both at once. So hopefully I can get this video for you guys so I can try to give you a quick rundown on replacing both at the same time. This EGR valve was honestly easier than that little sensor, so we'll try to speed through this. For the EGR valve, I went with the WVE Vehicle Electronics, aka Rock Auto. That's going to be the part number. I have a 95, so this should work for the later gen model 3.9 V6 Dakotas. It's going to be 4F1235 by these guys. They actually sent me a whole bunch of parts, so that was kind of nice. They sent 2 gaskets with the kit. They sent 4 bolts with the kit. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but there is only 2 bolts. So it's cool they sent all that extra hardware with the product. This I bought off of eBay for 18 bucks, which it was a coolant temperature sensor, which, I mean, it is technically, but it does not fit the 95 Dakota. I had to go out to AutoZone and grab this one. This one, I want to say, was a SU 318 or 381. I'll actually post the link down in the website below, or down in the link below, description below. So keep an eye out for this. This was only this is a ½ inch versus a 19. I want to say it's not ½ inch. Yeah, ½ inch, which is ironic because when I show you how to get to this, you'll be like, wow, that's actually kind of nice. So we'll take both of these. For this, by the way, it's a 10 mil. So look underneath your cabinets, drawers, and everything for your lost 10 mil because you're gonna need it. Okay, so we'll start with that. Getting to the EGR valve. If you have the 3.9 V6, it's conveniently right there. Right there. Right next to the distributor. It's right there. It's literally, you can access the bolts. As you can see, there's one right there, and then there's another on the other side right over there. 2 10s comes right off. The gasket will probably need to be scraped off. All I did was use a scraper, scrape the gasket off with some brake clean. Waited for the new part to come. Took me 5 minutes to drop this thing in. The only thing that you have to disconnect is the vacuum line off the back of it, and then you have to reconnect that red connector. And to take that red connector off, get behind it with a screwdriver, lift it away from the lock plug, and it slides right out. Vacuum line, you literally just pull off, and it comes right off. Probably the easiest EGR swap that I've done ever. Less than 5 minutes. So here I can show it with you on the open. It's going to sit in here like this. That's how it sits in the truck. Vacuum line points towards the driver's side, and the electrical connector points towards the passenger side, like you saw. And it was extremely simple. Obviously, when you're putting the new gasket on, the new gasket does have the slit, so make sure when you put the gasket on, you're lining that slit and that hole up with each other with the gasket. Because originally I went to put it down, and I had this slit hole in the gasket over here, and obviously that's not going to work, and then this hole would have been blocked. So make sure the orientation on that gasket is correct. Like I said, super easy to swap this out. This is all just a 10 mil, 5 minutes of my time. Well, another 5 minutes if you include scraping the gasket off with brake clean. That was simple. Super easy. And when you do that, disconnect the battery. That way your engine doesn't freak out for a sensor not being there. For this one, however, the water temperature sensor, originally I was thinking it was that. Not sure why I would think it's on top of the manifold, but that's the one I thought it was. Definitely not this sensor. And it's not that sensor right there. It is actually the sensor behind this AC compressor. Yes, that's right, behind the AC compressor. Down there. Take it off. You take off your 4 AC compressor bolts, plus an additional 1/2 inch bolt right here that holds this bracket in place. Take all that out, slide the compressor out of the way. If you have a hose, it should move. Mine's fairly new, so I'm not scared to move it. Once you have those 5 1/2 inch bolts out of the way, it will be down there in the back, way down there, and it is right underneath this wire harness loom, which sucks because if you're trying to get a 1/2 inch socket, a deep well socket in there, it does drag against this loom, so you're gonna have to do some finagling. I had to hold up the whole wire harness loom while I loosened the sensor out, but I got it out. Putting it in was actually easy. Like I said, I did get the wrong sensor at first, so that sucked. I had to go and buy another one. It was like 26 bucks, I think. The EGR valve, I think, was 80 something, but like I said, I'll try to link them down in the description. That way you guys actually have access to them without having to fumble around and order the wrong one and come to the realization that you have to take the compressor off. Obviously you need a 15 mil to loosen the belt, top the 17 belt off, then you can free up the air compressor with the 5 1/2 inch bolts. And that sensor that I bought, the SU 318 or 381, that sensor, I want to say it's 318, but the SU 318 sensor is also a 1/2 inch. So ironically, all the bolts that you're going to need to touch right here are 1/2 inch. Now that is a 15. I have all new, pretty much new pulleys in here, new idler pulley, tensioner pulley, new belt, alternator's newer, so most of my pulleys are new. Water pump, fan clutch, that's all new as well. So a lot of this stuff just meshes easily, and it actually comes apart the way it's supposed to. Some people's aren't going to do that. But I was actually surprised by the EGR valve coming off that easy, so I kind of just went with it. And I already had this off before when I replaced the water pump and added the coolant tube and all the new hoses and the intake and sprayed the valve covers, resealed the valve cover. I've done a lot with this thing so far. So this thing is actually holding up pretty well. It slowly starts eating money away. But I mean, it's also damn near 30 years old, so I get it. Now, like I said, it is going to be down there. I'm not even sure if I can even get you a video of it, but it's right down there below that bracket. So right down there, right below this screw, this bolt basically. And as you can tell, when it's actually mounted in, it's not that big. Make sure it's a 2-post. It'll look like this. It's a normal sensor, no holes, nothing, just normal temperature sensor. installing it, same thing. I kind of just dropped it in place because it did have coolant seeping out of the hole, and I kind of just gave it like 2.5, almost 3 full turns, and then I got onto it with the 1/2 inch and actually drove it all the way home. It already came pre-lubed up with some Loctite, so that was nice. You probably could add some thread tape if you wanted, but it already had some stuff on it, so, and it's not leaking. But yeah, so if you guys do end up needing to replace the EGR valve or the water temperature sensor, I'm gonna link it in the bio below, because that sucked buying the wrong sensor. But I think that's gonna be it for today's video. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the content between this, the scooter content, and every other video I'm posting out here. Let me know what you're thinking. If you like it, let me know. If you don't like it, I mean, you can let me know too. But besides that, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoy watching as much as I enjoy helping you guys out. Maybe I'll make a video with more stuff with the Dakota. It seems like the Dakota's hit or miss with content. Some people like it, some people just have general questions about it, or some people ask for videos I haven't even made yet. I have had a few questions on the stereo, but it never seems to be really anybody that's that interested. I do have the new ignition that I'm going to be replacing, so look for that video because that's coming up. That's going to be another pretty straightforward video. I want to say it's about 5 screws, 2 wire connections, and it's done. That's the one thing I do like about this vehicle. It's extremely simple for a lot of the stuff you do. But besides that, if you like the video and you want to see more videos with the Dirty Dodge, the Mustang, Genesis, the BMW, the SVX, or the scooter, go ahead, subscribe to the channel down below. I'm trying to post some more videos as I get them. If you want to have some information said to you, or do you want me to answer some questions, basically the same thing, just go ahead and drop them down in the comments. And if you're not already, subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for all the fun stuff I got going on for all these things. Right now the scooter's the top thing right now because it's still warm. Once it gets colder, I'll probably dive back into the truck and the Subaru a little bit more, because I do have the wheels for the Subaru, but I never put them on. I also never bought tires for those wheels, but the Genesis has to go out to get the motor rebuilt yet because it's still down for rod knock. So that definitely will be happening because I'm not throwing the car away. But besides that, let me know what you're thinking. If you're not already, subscribe to the channel. And thanks for watching, guys. Peace.